students, welcome back to Study Smart channel. First of all, congrats for successfully stepping into Form 1. I am very happy to introduce you to science, which is an important part of our daily life. I hope by the end of this video, you will start to appreciate science a little bit more. Let's start. Alright students, first of all, what is science? Science is known as the knowledge on the natural phenomena such as the thunderstorm, snowfall, earthquake, and also the growth of living things. The knowledge on why and how these natural phenomena take place is known as the knowledge on the science. Maybe at this point, some of you might have already have some idea on why and how this natural phenomena is actually happening. Do you think the thunderstorm occur because someone somewhere in the world made the god angry and this is a kind of punishment for them? If you say yes to this, believe me, this video going to excite you with tons of impressive knowledge on science. And also, the answer for the question just now is no, thunderstorm doesn't occur because someone did something bad. Then, what is the actual reason for thunderstorm to occur? Scientifically, thunder occurs due to the flow of electrons from one cloud to another and also from the cloud to the ground. Quite impressive, right? Okay, now your turn. Can you answer me why snowfall occur? Have fun thinking about this and we will discover the answer at the end of this video. Alright, in summary, we can conclude science as a systematic observation on natural phenomena in order to obtain the knowledge on why and how the natural phenomena take place. So, what does it mean by systematic observation? In contrast to normal observation, when we perform the systematic observation, we have a goal in our mind, and also the observation will be done by following a well-ordered method to closely examine on a specific natural phenomena. So this is done in order to obtain a reliable data on the subject that we observing. That is what known as science. Science is a systematic observation on the natural phenomena. So we have gone through the definition of science. Now, what's so big deal about science that I mentioned that it is a very important part of our daily life? Believe me, science is all around us at any moment of our life. It has already entered all kind of sectors that we can think of. When it comes to agriculture, science made it possible for the agriculture to bloom tremendously by the introduction of fertilizer, pesticides, and even made it possible for us to do the farming without the limitation of soil and large space. This is known as the hydroponic method. Not only in agriculture, in terms of transportation, we are already in the era of having electric and self-drive car. We are living in quite fantastic time zone, right? And there is science in communication sector as well. In terms of communication, there was a time when our ancestors thought that landline phone is the best innovation ever. But look at now, we're already on the brink of 3D holographic calls. It's just moments away for you to see your loved ones in 3D images. That's how science influenced the communication sector. Not only that, science also have played a great role in construction and medicine industry. The vaccine for COVID-19 virus was possible because of the innovation of science. Now, let's look into the sectors in science. Natural science can be divided into three sectors such as biological science, physical science, and earth science. Biological science referring to the study of living things such as plants, human, ecosystem, and also animals. Physical science referring to the study of matter and energy. It can be divided into two other sectors such as physics and also chemistry. And finally, earth science is referring to the study about rocks and also minerals. Earth science can be divided into few such as the study about rocks, study about stars, and also the study about the atmospheric phenomena. Let's look into the sectors in biological science. If you are interested to study about living things, you can study about biological science. There are sectors such as botany, ecology, zoology, and physiology. Botany is actually focused on the study about plants. Ecology is the study about living things and their interaction with the ecosystem. Zoology is the study about animals. And lastly, physiology is the study about human body. Next, we have physical science. In terms of physical science, we can look into specific one, which is physics. If you are interested in physics, you can study chemical or mechanical engineering, aerospace engineering, nuclear engineering, or cybersecurity and computer science. Physical science also includes the study about chemistry. If you are interested in chemistry, you can look into studying the pharmacology, which is the study about drugs, forensic, the study about crime, and toxicology, the study about poison and toxic materials. Lastly, we have the earth science. Earth science include the study about geology, which is the study about rocks and also minerals, astronomy, the study about stars and planets, and lastly we have meteorology, which is the study about atmospheric phenomena. Alright students, so we have understand what is science, we have understand the importance of science and also the sectors in science. Now let's look into your science laboratory. What are the apparatus are there in your science laboratory that you will be using quite often when you do the experiment? When it comes to the apparatus in your science lab, make sure you remember their symbols and also understand their function correctly. So first of all, we have boiling tube. Boiling tube, the function is to heat up chemicals in small quantity. And then we have the test tube. Test tube is to hold and heat up chemicals in small quantity. Both also sound the same for me. So what's the difference between the boiling tube and test tube? Okay, if you look at the symbol of boiling tube and test tube, you can see that test tube is a bit smaller than boiling tube. So, when you draw the symbols for boiling tube and test tube, make sure you draw them correctly. And then we have the measuring cylinder. As the name indicates, measuring cylinder function is to measure specific amount of chemical to be used in our experiments. Next, we have the beaker. Beaker, the function is to hold the liquid chemicals and it can measure the volume of the liquid. Then we have the conical flask. Conical flask, the function is to hold chemicals and to transport storage and mixing of the chemicals. We also have the flat bottom flask. Hold different type of chemicals together to mix them and enable chemical reactions. So, what are the similarities between all these three apparatus? All these three apparatus, they can hold larger amount of chemicals compared to boiling tube and test tube, and also they can measure the volume of the liquid because there is a measuring label in their apparatus. Next we have retort stand. Retort stand, the function is to hold and support apparatus during experiments. We have burette. Burette is for accurate fluid dispensing and measurement. And we have pipette. Pipette, the function is to extract or deliver small amount of liquid accurately. The following apparatus is filter funnel. Filter funnel, the function is to filter or separate insoluble solid from the mixture. And then we have the tripod stand. Tripod stand is to support our apparatus during heating using the Bunsen burner. And we have the wire gauge. Wire gauge, the function is to spread the heat evenly during heating. Finally, we have the gas jar and also the evaporating dish. Gas jar is to contain gas during our experiment, and also the evaporating dish is to evaporate excess solvent from the salt water. Okay students, we have covered all the apparatus. Now, let's play a game to test your understanding. The game called as Can You Name This Apparatus? Alright, if you are ready, now let's start the game. Okay students, here got few apparatus labeled as number 1, 2, 3 and 4. I want you to pause this video and think about the name of each of these apparatus. Alright, I hope you already find the answer. Okay, now I want to show you the actual answer for all these apparatus. Are you ready? Alright, let's discover the answer for all these apparatus. Yes, the number 1 is the beaker, number 2 is the measuring cylinder, number 3 is the conical flask, and the number 4 is burette. I hope you got the answer correct. Now, let's move to the last part of this video. We want to identify the hazard symbol that you can find in your lab. The first symbol is irritant. Irritant is labeled as a cross. Okay, what irritants can do to you? It will hurt your eyes, nose or throat when it come in contact with you. And also you need to avoid inhaling the vapor or fumes of the chemical that labeled as irritant. And whenever you use these chemicals, you can only use them inside a fume chamber. Example of chemicals that are actually considered as irritant are chloroform and ammonia. Okay, time for smart question. Do you know what is a fume chamber? Think about this and we will discover the answer at the end of this video. The next hazard symbol that we want to look is radioactive. Radioactive symbol belongs to the materials that can emit radioactive rays that can cause cancer. Example of materials that can be radioactive are uranium and plutonium. The third hazard symbol that we want to discuss today is explosive. Explosive means the chemical can easily explode if it come across spark. Example of chemicals that can explode are hydrogen gas and butane gas. Next we have corrosive. Corrosive chemicals can burn your skin if you come in contact with the chemical. The difference between corrosive and irritant are the irritant chemicals, if it come across your skin, it will only cause irritation, but corrosive can actually burn your skin. So if you affected, you need to immediately wash your hand with water. Example of chemicals that are corrosive are concentrated acid and concentrated alkali. Next we have highly flammable. Highly flammable is indicated by a fire. So this means that the chemical will easily vaporize and flammable. You need to always make sure you keep the chemical away from fire sources. Example of chemicals that will be highly flammable are alcohol and petrol. And also we have toxic. Toxic is indicated by a skull. The chemicals are poisonous and strictly there should be no eating, smelling, tasting or drinking of any toxic chemicals. The example of chemicals that are toxic are mercury and chlorine. Okay students, we have covered the important part in part 1 chapter 1. Now is the time for smart answers. Do you still remember what are the smart questions that I asked you in the video before? I hope you still remember and I hope that you already find the answer. Now, let's see the smart questions. My first smart question was, how snowfall occur? Have you found out the answer already? Alright, let me show you the answer now. Okay, before that, you need to understand something. You need to understand the change of the state of matter. For ice cube, initially it will become solid and then if we heat up, it will become liquid and finally it will become water vapor, which is a state of gas. This is a basic knowledge you need to have in order you to understand how snowfall occurs. Alright, now let's see in detail. So, what actually happens? The water in the ocean and lakes evaporates with heat and this will cause the water to transform into steam. The steam will rise into the atmosphere. When the steam comes in contact with cloud which have much lower temperature than the steam itself, the steam will condense to form the water droplets. So, if the cloud temperature is above 0 degrees Celsius, rainfalls are to be expected. But what about snow? In which condition snow can actually form? Okay, in order for the tiny water droplets to transform into snowflakes, the cloud's temperature must be under freezing point, which is below 0 degrees Celsius. So, if the cloud temperature is below 0 degrees Celsius, ice crystals will be formed and this will cause the snowflakes to be falling down to the earth by gravitational force. So that's how snowflakes actually happen. Alright students, now you know how actually snowfall occur. So quite interesting, right? So this is all about science. Science means you have accurate knowledge on how and why the natural phenomena occur. Alright students, now we go to the second smart question. My question was, do you know what is fume chamber? I hope you already find the answer. Now let's discover the answer. Okay, fume chamber is actually an enclosed working chamber fitted with an exhaust ventilation system. This fume chamber is important so that the chemicals that we are working on will not escape to the surrounding. Normally those chemicals that are poisonous and also toxic, we need to use them under the fume chamber. Okay students, we have came to the end of the video. I actually had a very fun time explaining the concept of science, and I hope that you also had very fun time with me. Alright, that's it for today. Until we meet again for the next video, thank you and have a nice day. Bye.